Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at another of these PNSO minifigures, these newer minis that were just recently released, and as you can see, today we are going to look at Erma, the Mamenchisaurus. This is one that has a larger 1/35th scale counterpart, so in a way you can use this as an infant or a baby, which is really cool and awesome addition to the already awesome PNSO collection of Mamenchisaurus figures. The overall appearance of this looks pretty much just like the larger counterpart did, so that's one thing that's quite interesting. It should look really cool with the larger version if you do in fact own that and you decide to purchase this. As always with these newer minifigures, you get a box as opposed to the see-through packaging that we had previously. The box primarily is just an image of the clouds and stuff, and the Mamenchisaurus itself, there isn't really much else to it. It looks awesome, so let's break it open and take a look at this brand new Mamenchisaurus. So, like always, we've got the PNSO booklet here, which if we open up, I'm sure will provide us with some very cool information all about the Mamenchisaurus itself. You've got a very cool illustration of it down there, lots of information on the species itself, and some more information on PNSO. Awesome booklet, love these. The addition of these just in general takes the PNSO level of professionalism and beauty in their products to another level as far as really getting bang for your buck. And here is the new Mamenchisaurus, and look at how adorable that is. This is actually really quite small. I'd say this one's probably about the same size as the previous minifigures that we had, which makes this really quite interesting because a lot of the other newer minifigures are a good bit bigger than the older ones. But what's interesting is the fact that out of all the newer figures, I think this looks like it might be the smallest, yet in real life this would have been easily the biggest out of all of them. However, it looks really cool at first glance, but the only way to really tell is to get a closer look, so let's do that now. So starting up here at the head sculpt, look how insanely small that head sculpt is. And it even has the nostrils included and everything. The mouth looks really nice. The eyes are actually really beautifully painted on there. As we start to run down the neck, you can really pick up on the incredible sculpt and detail. Already just right here in the neck, you can see so many wrinkles and creases in the skin, giving you the idea that this is definitely a very large animal. The neck is super long, as you would find on a Mamenchisaurus, and it runs all the way down here with that same style of sculpt with all the creases and everything all throughout the skin. It looks phenomenal in my opinion. As far as the sculpt goes, for the size of this figure, it's quite astonishing just how beautifully detailed it truly is. As you get down here into the shoulder area, you can definitely pick up on the shoulder blade protruding from the skin there very nicely and very realistically. You can run down the leg and get an idea of the musculature here of the front leg. It looks fantastic, and the paint application so beautifully and naturally transitions from lighter colors to darker colors all over the area of the dinosaur when it comes to this brown that they've used. And there's also a hint of green here in the stomach region, which is something that I don't think we saw on the larger version of this figure. You can see that the skin texture is really beautifully done. You can also get an idea here of the skin reacting to the movement of this leg pushing back into the body. Even right here, again, some more skin wrinkling as this leg is pushing into the stomach, bunching the skin up there. The skin texture of the stomach region really looks beautiful, again, looking very large animal-ish. You can pick up on the hip bone really nicely there, even the musculature here of the rear thigh. Very nice kneecap sculpted out there. You can even come down into the foot, and the foot also looks really nice. It doesn't appear that there's any nail paint or anything on this, but it's so small it would be incredibly hard to even apply that. As you come out the length of the tail, you can see the beautiful skin texture continues, and you've got a really nice curve. The tail goes pretty much straight out and then curves at the end, which is a very realistic look, I think, for this, and it really in general helps to give this a very lifelike appearance without being, I guess I could say, overly sculpted. The tail isn't curved everywhere and looking unnatural. It really has a very nice, beautiful curve to it and helps to, again, give this a very realistic appearance. If you look at the opposing side, again, the head looks very nice. Same with the neck area. You can get an idea of the beautiful skin tones of the animal. As you turn it, you can really see all the different variations of browns, lighter and darker, helping to give this a very, very realistic look. You can again pick up on the shoulder blade on this side, and I really like that you don't see so much going on as far as the skin here in the stomach, because on this side the legs are pulling apart. This leg, the rear leg is stretching back, the forward leg is pulling forward, stretching the skin so you don't see a whole lot of wrinkling going on here in the stomach region. That is really nice attention to detail done again here by PNSO. And you can also take note of that greenish color again right in the stomach region. Really, really nicely applied there. Very subtle that you almost wouldn't even notice. The underside is also beautifully detailed. And again, that tail has that fantastic curve. Very nice sculpt and detail the whole way out. So this Mamenchisaurus, if it would focus, is really, really beautiful. Now, if that sculpt and detail impresses you like it impresses me, when you get an idea of the size of this, you're really going to be impressed, because for a length from the head to the tail, you're looking at about 5.5 inches or about 14 centimeters. And for a height, the highest point is probably about the mid-neck. You're going to see that come in at about 1.5 inches only, or 4 centimeters. So this is incredibly small. And to prove that point, there is the green Mr. Papo T-Rex. And now you should really be able to tell that even though it's a very long minifigure, as far as a size goes, it's really quite small. And again, to prove that point, we will bring in some more of the minis that we had from the last review, which would actually be the previous minifigures from PNSO. On the left would be the Cryolophosaurus. You've got the brand new Gigantoraptor there in the back. And then on the right, you've got the Mattel minifigure Ceratosaurus. So this should give you a good idea that this Mamenchisaurus is really quite small, but insanely impressive for just how realistic and beautiful it is up close, the skin tones and everything. As far as the size of this figure goes, it's extremely impressive. So before, my favorite was the Gigantoraptor as of right then, because it was the only one I had looked at. However, looking at this Mamenchisaurus, it really does give it a run for its money. I think my favorite still might be the Gigantoraptor, but this Mamenchisaurus is really close to pushing that figure off of its throne, because it is really, really beautiful. And I feel like that's going to be a continuing trend when it comes to the reviews of these new minifigures, is showing that each one is just so beautiful repeatedly that they're all going to be in competition for that top spot. This Mamenchisaurus, as far as sculpt, looks really nice, beautifully sculpted. The detail and everything as far as the movement and also the skin texture is fantastic. Considering its size, I think that is incredibly impressive just how well sculpted this figure is. But if we also talk about the fact that the paint application looks great, it really becomes even more impressive considering the size of this figure, because there are so many different areas of skin tone on this figure that it honestly looks really quite lifelike. And considering its size being so small, it just blows me away how realistic and how good of a job PNSO did as far as the paint application of this figure. So this is another total win from PNSO, and definitely one of the single best minifigures that they've had from all of their minifigures so far. This Mamenchisaurus is really, really beautiful. So if you are interested in picking this up, I will include a link in the description for you to head on over to the PNSO Amazon store and pick this up for yourself. So if you do want to buy it, check the description. But before you do that, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.